welcome to the end of your week. You made it, we made it. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you can use right now.
Rise and shine, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo, TGIF. Let's make today unforgettable with good vibes, great company, and loads of inspiration. Happy Friday! I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always mo fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that always matter.
Always.
Happy Friday!
Always matters.
It always matters, whatever we say.
Like yesterday's romper conversation did not matter.
Oh,
of course
we're bringing
it
this up
mattered.
again. It does matter because it's important.
Why is it important?
It's
because
important.
it's a fashion statement.
Yes, and it's important for those who love rompers and pantsuits and jumpsuits.
It's not important for people who don't love it.
It's subjective.
Yes, it is.
So,
It is.
I would argue
and we're still
always.
bringing this up. You're still bitter about it.
I'm not bitter.
It's already
Kasi alam ko
Friday.
yung
Let's
ako'y
start
nanalo
Friday
We
with no
gotta move on.
violence.
Exactly.
Oh.
Do we have
Okay,
any
sige.
fun plans this weekend?
Do we have any fun plans this weekend? I'm not sure yet. I'm legitimately
We're
not
going
sure
to
yet.
that Artefino
Yeah, we're
event
going to
on Sunday,
Artefino.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
No, and I think you're gonna go. You're gonna see our guest yesterday as well.
Yeah. We're gonna see her
Yeah,
because I
that pure
want to try her
culture.
product.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
have you
right.
tried it yet?
Oh,
The
I've
clean-
tried it already.
clean beauty?
Not yet.
Really nice. They have this cream for mature skin, and then it has.
Mature.
It actually has. Yeah, I'm
We
ready
didn't
for.
say that. We
Direct,
did
I'm
not
ready
say
for
that.
mature rolls. How the Filipinos say it. But anyway, the cream has
That's
like
not where we
gold.
were going.
Wait, hold on. The cream that they have with the Bulgarian rose, it has gold flecks on it. So when you spread it on your skin, you have this gold glitter on your face. It's really nice.
So my sister stole mine. So
I was gonna ask for yours.
yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, like, well, she didn't really steal mine. I'm like, hey, you see this? She's like, yeah, okay. So she got it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like, I have yet to get a review from her. But let's see what happens. What happens with her and whether or not she likes it. But then again, it's nice to see. Me personally, I don't mind a restful weekend. It's been a long week.
I'm resting this weekend.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's allergy season, but allergies are coming up.
I know, and I can hear
my
it.
allergies are so bad today too.
Yeah.
I've been
His voice is-
sneezing.
his
I
voice
can hear
is
yours.
really-
Yeah, no, my sinuses have been under attack. But it's okay.
Tomorrow, March 8th, is actually International Women's Day.
Okay.
So women should be celebrating.
Are you
Celebrating
guys-
each
All day,
other.
every day.
How are you gonna celebrate?
I'll be sleeping.
Sleeping. Because you need
Girls.
rest.
That's how I'll be celebrating.
But you know what?
I've been such a busy week.
I found out that there's actually a procrastination week. So the first 2 weeks
Isn't
of
that
March.
every week?
No. Yeah, no.
Actually.
Pero it's actually celebrated every year. First 2 weeks of March is procrastination week. So you're allowed to,
Wait, you
set
didn't tell
things
us
aside and
this. I should have done
procrastinate.
this. It's already March 7th.
I would have done it, but I'll
it's
probably do it next
It's
week.
still the first week of March, so next
No,
week
it's okay.
pwede.
Don't tell me that actually. I'll be so unproductive.
Hindi nag-procrastinate ka, kaya next week na lang.
No, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. The connection natin today is
I know.
not quite there. All right.
But anyway, let's give them news that they can use this morning. Let's start with a look at the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Now, here is the situation along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Quiapo. On the right side are vehicles bound for Quezon Memorial Circle. As you can see, both lanes still a good time to drive. Light traffic on that stretch of Quezon Avenue. Now, let's take a look on the situation at EDSA Orense in Makati. On the left side is the southbound lane going to Pasay. On the right side is the northbound lane headed to Shaw Boulevard. Light traffic as well on both sides of EDSA. Now, the expanded vehicle number scheme is in full swing since it is a Friday, guys. Vehicles with license plates ending in 9 and 0 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Beginning March 10, the Agriculture Department will implement a maximum suggested retail price on pork at the National Capital Region's wet markets. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tu Laurel Jr. says this will help ease the financial strain on consumers grappling with high meat prices. He adds this is also aimed at ensuring the sustainability of the pork industry, which continues to suffer from the adverse effects of the African swine fever. The MSRP for liempo will be 380 pesos per kilo, kasim and pige at 350 pesos per kilo, sabit ulo or the price at which traders pass pork to retailers at 300 pesos per kilo. The pricing will be reviewed after a month to see if adjustments have to be made. Now let's find out what the weather will be like this Friday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao.
Thank you so much, Mo. Let's take a look at our local weather, where there are currently 3 weather systems that are influencing our country today. Now, the northeast monsoon is affecting the extreme northern part of Luzon, but we also have a shear line as well. Now, the shear line is impacting the eastern sections of northern Luzon, and the easterlies are bringing warm and humid conditions to the rest of the country. Easterlies dominantly in this area. Now, due to the northeast monsoon, Batanes and the Babuyan Islands will experience cloudy skies with periods of rain. So this is the extreme northern part of the country. Now, in Ilocos Norte, the northeast monsoon will bring partly cloudy to cloudy skies with the possibility of isolated light rains. Meanwhile, the shear line, which is the boundary where warm and cool air masses meet, will bring cloudy skies and scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms in mainland Cagayan, Apayao, Kalinga, Isabela, and Aurora. In the southern part of the country, the easterlies will continue to influence the weather, causing cloudy skies and scattered rain showers and isolated thunderstorms in southern Leyte, Caraga, and in Davao Oriental. Now, for Metro Manila and the rest of the country, these will be under the influence of the easterlies as well, so you can expect warm and humid weather all throughout the day. There's also a chance of isolated rain showers or thunderstorms, particularly later in the afternoon. Now let's take a look at our sea conditions, where a gale warning is currently in effect for the northern and western seaboards of northern Luzon, particularly in the Batanes, Cagayan, including the Babuyan Islands, Ilocos Norte, and Ilocos Sur, so this area right over here. Now, due to the gale warning, maritime activities in these areas are suspended, and it is advisable to stay on land for safety. For the rest of the country, it is generally safe to head out to sea. However, sailors should remain alert for any possible changes in the weather while navigating. Now, here are Pag-asa's latest forecast concerning the heat indices today. Under the danger zone, with a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius, are Dagupan, Pangasinan, Iba, Zambales, Ambulong, Tanawan, Batangas, San Jose Occidental, Mindoro, and Cuyo, Palawan. These conditions can feel like extreme heat, potentially leading to heat exhaustion and cramps. Prolonged exposure increases the risk of heat stroke. It is essential to stay indoors and stay hydrated. Meanwhile, areas of extreme caution with a heat index of 41 degrees Celsius include Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, San Ildefonso, Bulacan, Iloilo, Dipolog, Zamboanga del Norte. Additionally, locations with a heat index of 4 degrees Celsius include Metro Manila, Subic Bay, Olongapo, Sangley Point, Cavite, Virac, Catanduanes, Masbate City, Rojas City, Capiz, La Carlota, Negros Occidental. Now, exposure to these temperatures for extended periods may lead to heat cramps and exhaustion. So if you're going to go outside, make sure that you stay hydrated, wear light clothing, and make sure you minimize your time in the heat whenever possible. Now, because of the heat indices, face-to-face classes are suspended today in some parts of the country due to the forecasted high heat index. Everyone is advised to stay safe and hydrated. Affected areas are on your screen. And that's it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, girls.
Thank you so much for that update, Pao. In other local news, San Juan City started implementing a 30-minute heat and health break for its traffic enforcers and street sweepers. In a statement, Mayor Francis Zamora says this will give them time to hydrate, rest, and prevent heat-related health issues, while other enforcers and sweepers substitute them to ensure continuous visibility and coverage in their assigned areas. In Manila, its Traffic and Parking Bureau also ordered a heat stroke break of 10 to 15 minutes. The break also covers all barangay tanod in the city. As for the Philippine National Police, its Highway Patrol Group is now studying the possibility of allowing its enforcers to wear short pants and comfortable uniforms during their operations to be able to cope with the hot temperature.
Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Claire Castro confirms the acceptance of resignation of Department of Information and Communications Technology Secretary Ivan Oy. Uy is the third cabinet member of President Bongbong Marcos who resigned in less than a month following PCO Acting Secretary Cesar Chavez and Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista. An officer in charge was designated at the DICT. Castro did not divulge the reason behind Uy's resignation, but a group of businessmen reportedly complained about his alleged slow implementation of programs and frequent trips abroad.
The Office of Civil Defense says Mount Kanlaon continues to show signs of an imminent eruption. These include the movement of magma and the ash emissions recorded yesterday from the volcano. Speaking with Agenda, OCD spokesperson Chris Bendijo assures the public authorities that are getting ready for any possible emergency response, especially in high-risk areas in Negros Occidental, Antique, Iloilo, and Guimaras. He says there are now 2,682 families, or roughly 8,500 individuals in evacuation centers. But the government is now working on building permanent evacuation centers.
Naglo-locate po tayo ng mga possible worst-case scenario centers na pagtatuyuan ng mga evacuation centers. Meron po tayo nakikita sa may Mambulak, Silay City. Kaya lang po it will be validated pa po by our science-based agencies through the National Task Force po.
As of now, over 12,000 families, or almost 50,000 people, have been affected by Kanlaon's activity, with over 107 million pesos of humanitarian assistance provided by the Social Welfare Department.
Authorities work together to address the proliferation of fake news. In an interview with BNC's On Point, both the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group and the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center agree there is a need to balance regulation of media with freedom of speech.
The PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group based on investigation, we really have to have a regulation dun po sa mga social media platforms. Okay. Because as we can see, the social media platforms are being used by these peddlers to make some news which is not really true, or the fake news as we say. And we really have to have here an office dun sa mga platform so that mas mabilis yung coordination and mas mabilis din yung pag-identify natin with the perpetrators. And by that, it would be easier for us to file a case against those offenders.
You need to strike a balance between regulation and civil rights.
Yes.
Because without striking that balance, we are not anymore living in a society. We are living anymore in an anarchy. We have a distinct world with the cyberspace. And whatever controls that we have in the physical space must be translated to the cyberspace as well. Same with security. Same with safety.
In world news, the Pope sent his first audio message since being hospitalized for double pneumonia nearly 3 weeks ago. A two-line message recorded by Francis was played during a nightly prayer service for the Pope in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your prayers for my health from the square. I accompany you from here. May God bless you and the Virgin protect you. Thank you.
This audio message came shortly after the Vatican said the pontiff had remained stable on Thursday and is now continuing his treatment at the Gemelli Hospital in Rome. Now, a bit of relief for vehicle imports from Mexico and Canada as U.S. President Donald Trump agrees to delay a 25% tariff for 1 month. This follows a phone call among Trump, General Motors CEO Mary Barra, Ford CEO Jim Farley, Ford Executive Chairman Bill Ford, and Stellantis Chair John Elkann. The automakers offered to boost U.S. investments, but wanted certainty about tariff and environmental policies.
Reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd, but at the request of the companies associated with USMCA, the president is giving them an exemption for 1 month so they are not at an economic disadvantage. So the three companies that he spoke to are Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. They requested the call, they made the ask, and the president is happy to do it. He told them that they should get on it, start investing, start moving, shift production here to the United States of America, where they will pay no tariff. That's the ultimate goal.
President Volodymyr Zelensky is optimistic about repairing ties with the U.S. Zelensky says there had been positive movement in cooperation with America that could lead to another meeting soon. The White House also says it may reverse its decision to pause aid to Ukraine. Trump has said he appreciates Zelensky's willingness to finalize a minerals deal. This comes days after the two leaders had a fiery exchange at the White House over how to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Всі бачать, наскільки швидко.
Everyone can see how quickly diplomatic events are unfolding. Today, our teams, Ukraine and the United States, have begun working on a meeting. Audrey Yermak and Michael Waltz have spoken, and there is positive movement. We hope for the first results next week.
Over in sports, a historic change for the FIFA World Cup. Its 2026 final will feature the organization's first ever halftime show. British band Coldplay is already working with FIFA to curate the groundbreaking performance. The 48-team World Cup will run from June 11 to July 19 next year. The final will be played at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, home of NFL teams the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Over in the NBA, achievement unlocked for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak scored his 20,000th career point in the Milwaukee Bucks' dominant win over the Dallas Mavericks. Giannis is the latest player to reach the 20K club, following teammate Damian Lillard, who achieved the feat last season. The former NBA champion and 9-time All-Star is currently Milwaukee's all-time leader in multiple categories, including points, rebounds, and assists. Meanwhile, an upcoming auction gives hoop fans a chance to win their own piece of greatness. Peekaboo 80 points like a Kobe game, or $10 million a piece at auction in Sotheby's. Sotheby's is auctioning off rookie jerseys worn by Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Both jerseys are expected to sell for around $10 million each, or over 570 million pesos. The legendary threads will be on public display in New York starting March 21st.
We got some sad news in local showbiz. The father of actress Angel Locsin has passed away. Angelo Colmenares died on Wednesday at the age of 98. The actress has yet to issue a statement. Locsin's close bond with her father is well documented over the years. His last public appearance was in 2022 in a vlog with Angel and her husband, Neil Arce. Our deepest condolences to Angel Locsin and her family.
Hit musical Hamilton cancels its run at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Celebration of Independence after U.S. President Donald Trump took over the organization. Trump fired the center's president back in February, replacing the board of trustees, and named himself chairman. In response, the musical's creator Lin-Manuel Miranda and lead producer Jeffrey Sellers said on Thursday that Hamilton will not perform during the celebration. Manuel has been a vocal critic of Trump and his policies. His musical tells the story of how penniless immigrant Alexander Hamilton rose to become the right-hand man of General George Washington. Now, in lighter news, A24 is cooking another star-studded collab, this time with Chris Evans, Dakota Johnson, and Pedro Pascal in a new romantic comedy. The film company released the first official poster on X featuring a heart-shaped cake. Materialist, directed by Past Lives director Celine Song, is set for release on June 13, 2025.
Now up ahead, know how to protect your heart's health amid the extreme heat. A cardiologist joins us after the break to talk more about it. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. With heat indices rising the past couple of days and the summer season coming up, health experts advise the public to find ways to stay cool and healthy, as extreme heat poses an increased risk of heart-related problems. We are now joined via Zoom by Dr. Christopher Nazal to talk more about this. It's a beautiful day. Doc Chris, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for inviting me on this beautiful day.
Of course, Doc. And we are feeling the heat all over the country, especially here in Metro Manila, in the cities. And of course, along with the rise of temperature comes health risks, health problems, right? And can you tell us what are the most common cardiovascular problems that arise during extreme heat?
All right, we're talking about cardiovascular problems during extreme heat. It's important to know that the heart and the entire cardiovascular system makes several adaptations when we are exposed to heat. Okay? When we are in a hot environment, our heart compensates so that we will be able to regulate our temperature so that our body will not overheat. Now, it does that by several methods. One of the most common things that we'll see would be an increased heart rate, increased sweating, okay, so that your body will be able to compensate for the heat. But the problem is if you have a pre-existing heart condition, if you already have hypertension, if you already have other heart diseases, all of these may be aggravated by the heat and by the mechanisms your heart does in order to compensate for the heat.
Now, Doc, one of the most common thing that happens to people when it's really hot is dehydration. So I'm just curious, can dehydration stress the heart?
Yes, dehydration can absolutely stress the heart because as part of the compensatory mechanism of the heart, when it comes to the heat, it has to pump blood faster around your body. Okay, it pumps the blood faster in order to facilitate evaporation of heat. Now, if you're already dehydrated, okay, the amount of blood volume is decreased, and the heart would actually need to pump even more in order to circulate the blood around the body, in order to generate enough circulation in order to dissipate the heat. So if you are dehydrated, your heart really needs to work more in order to continue proper regulation of your body's temperature. And that's tantamount to adding more stress to your heart.
Is there any group of people, Doc, that are more at risk than most because of whatever conditions, because of a particular age group, especially during extreme heat scenarios?
Yes. Of course, the vulnerable ages, the very old and the very young, of course, are always vulnerable for these conditions. Okay, but it is important to know that also people who already have pre-existing heart conditions, like if they have heart failure, they have some blockages in their arteries. Those who have ischemic heart disease or are experiencing arrhythmia, they're at risk. Diabetic people, of course, are at risk, and other not necessarily limited to the heart. People with asthma or COPD are also at higher risk for developing complications if they are exposed to extreme temperatures.
Doc, what are the potential symptoms to watch out for, especially for those who already have heart problems? How can they tell, or what are the symptoms that will tell them to go seek their cardiologist?
All right. So the most common initial symptom that everybody experiences is, of course, excessive sweating. Okay, so that's the first part, and then the patient will feel increased thirst. The patient may feel some sort of a dizziness or headaches. No? If those things occur, it may be a good time to remove yourself from the hot situation, go into an air-conditioned room, go to a shaded area, fan yourself, drink plenty of water. Okay? But as the symptoms progresses, if there's dizziness, there's confusion, there's difficulty in maintaining consciousness, those are the really, really dangerous signs. So what we really want to avoid is to avoid having those altered mental states. If the patient is already confused, lethargic, getting sleepy, those are the really bad signs that something really bad is already ongoing, and those constitute an emergency. But before that happens, the patient usually feels weak, sometimes a little bit of headache, sometimes a spinning sensation. Those are already impending signs of danger, and they should seek attention immediately.
Doc, there are a lot of people out there who cannot avoid being under the sun, whether it be they work outside or they commute, and a lot of people are looking for ways to protect themselves against heat-related afflictions, heat stroke, and so on. In a report yesterday, mayroon nga nagsabi, dalawa na yung payong nadala niya, just in case. I don't know what that'll do. But Doc, when you talk to someone about preventing ailments like heat stroke, what are the ways to do so? I know you mentioned a while ago staying hydrated and making sure that they are in shade, but some people are worried na kapag bigla umiba yung temperature, whether from an extreme heat condition, like if they go in a cold plunge all of a sudden, it might be unhealthy. What's the right way to go about it?
All right. So the best way, of course, to avoid all of that is to avoid the situation entirely. If you can avoid going out into the heat, if you can avoid being under the sun, okay, that's the best part. Now, if you can't avoid that for prolonged periods, of course, bringing some sort of a shade, like what you said, in dalawang payong, 2 umbrellas, or 1 umbrella would be fine as long as the patient is under the shade. And then try to drink plenty of fluids to avoid dehydration, okay? And it's said that you should always, you should try to choose loose-fitting clothing, something that makes the air circulate around your body. Try to avoid dark-colored clothing also, because dark-colored clothing absorbs more heat than light-colored clothing, okay? And then it's also very important in these situations to try to avoid alcohol intake, because intake of alcohol severely limits our body's ability to control heat and stuff like that, okay? Yeah, but those are the basic things that people can avoid. And if you have, of course, if you have comorbid conditions, just try to take your medicines as scheduled and everything like that.
Doc, so kahit below zero yung ininom mo na alcohol, na alak, bad for you pa rin.
I come again, sorry?
Kahit below zero yung alak na inumin mo, bad for you pa rin, yung beer.
Below zero in temperature or something?
Below zero beer.
Yung halos frozen na.
You're talking about amount of alcohol?
No, for the alcohol po, like even if it's a cold alcoholic drink, it's still not good for you, tama ba?
Well, it's not the temperature, it's the alcohol content.
Ayun, okay. Just to be clear.
He was trying to make a bad dad joke.
No, it's a legit question. It's a legit question, because I know some people
like
who,
the frozen stuff.
they refresh
really
themselves with really cold beer.
They
They think that that's good. Pero kung alcohol content nga ang pinag-usapan natin, that might actually not be the right thing
It's like
to do.
a mental thing.
Yes, you should never use alcohol to quench your thirst. It doesn't.
Noted.
Lahat ng mga cameramen po namin, they're taking notes.
But Doc Chris, now that you mentioned, avoiding alcohol, are there certain foods and drinks that can be taken or should be avoided, especially if you already have pre-existing heart problems?
Actually, hold on, Doc. I have a follow-up question to that, because some people I've heard when it's hot, they said it actually helps to drink hot soup. I don't know why.
Hot soup?
Yeah, people actually said that, like, when it's hot, to drink hot drinks or hot soup, it helps apparently.
Natatawa si Doc. I don't know kung totoo yan. All right, Doc.
All right. So again, the best fluid to hydrate ourselves is still water. Okay, whatever the temperature of the water, it will be the best one to hydrate you.
Okay.
Now, of course, cold drinks are available in terms of soda, juices. They may be able to help. Okay, excuse me. But sometimes some of these drinks have high sugar content, high caffeine content, and these things could also limit your body's ability to regulate the heat, and it also may tax your cardiovascular system in terms of circulating the blood and also regulating your body's blood pressure. Now, the question about hot soup, okay? So some people feel relief after taking a hot drink, a coffee, or something, or hot soup when the temperature is hot. The reason is because it makes them sweat more. Okay, so if we take that hot soup, sometimes they feel the increased sweat. Okay, and sweating, of course, is a good mechanism. It's our body's built-in mechanism in order to dissipate heat. Okay, so that's why we sweat. Your heart works fast. Your veins and arteries dilate to release heat, and then it also comes out in the form of sweating. Yeah, of course, it has its limits. If you sweat too much, No? You lose fluids and more electrolytes, and then you get the symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So there's always a limit.
Well, Doc, you mentioned a while ago the electrolytes as well. A lot of people tend to take sports drinks instead of just drinking water. Is there a risk when it comes to that? Because some of those sports drinks, as much as they hydrate, they also have a significant sugar content depending on what you have. What's your advice when it comes to hydrating that way?
All right. The sports drinks usually have high sugar content, and some of them have high caffeine content. Okay? They are used to replenish fluid and electrolytes in sporting events or in people who exert a high degree of physical activity. So they are useful in that situation. If you're an athlete, if you engage in sports, during time you are doing the sporting event, it's okay. You can hydrate with those sports drinks. But on a regular day, if you're just sitting down at your table having breakfast or eating, that amount of sugar, electrolytes, caffeine in your body may not be good for you. So it's really situational. It's good for the athletes. It's good for those who do the sports. But if you're sedentary and you're not really doing anything, those high content sports drinks may not be the best choice for you.
Now, Doc, I've noticed when it's really hot outside and then it's cold in either the vehicle you're in or in like the stores, I've noticed in myself and my friends as well that we all get really bad headaches. Now, is that worrisome, or what challenges does that pose, or what should we do when that happens?
All right, headache is a very common symptom in response to heat and also in response to cold. The common explanation, although it's not really known what the exact explanation for that, but the common explanation may be because the arteries and in circulating around your head tends to dilate and constrict depending on the temperature. Now, that is a symptom in itself that something is wrong. All right. Now, as to whether it's dangerous, it's really a matter of how it resolves or how the patient handles it. Okay. If the headache leads to if the headache intensifies, that the patient can no longer concentrate, can no longer stand up, or might lead to dizziness or falling over, then it's really a danger sign. But if it's just a mild headache, the patient can just sit down, take some fluids, no? That patient may want to take some paracetamol, something like that, in order to relieve the headache and just fan himself, cool himself off. So it's a warning sign in whatever situation. A headache incurred during change of temperature is always a warning sign. So we have to institute the proper management, proper treatment as early as possible in order to prevent it from progressing into something worse.
Doc Chris, if our viewers have more questions they would like to ask you, or maybe for consultation, how can they get in touch with you?
All right. I'm holding clinic at the Medical City. It's in Ortigas, Pasig. Okay. I hold clinic there most of the week and until Saturday, actually. They can just dial the trunk line of the Medical City Hospital. It's available online, and then they could just ask the operator to connect to my clinic, Dr. Nazal's clinic.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, cardiologist Dr. Christopher Nazal.
Right. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We've got more conversations for you here on the show. Pat Tingjuy will join us live after the break to talk about her journey from volleyball coach to award-winning actress. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. The movie Forrest Gump famously said, I was about to do it in my accent, but I stopped.
Do it.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Disappointing.
I'm not doing it. I'm not embarrassing myself. And for our guest today, life handed her an unexpected but award-winning plot twist. From coaching on the volleyball court to winning Best Actress at Cinemalaya 2023, she's proof that detours can lead to dreams coming true. Now joining us in the studio is Cinemalaya 2023 Best Actress, Pat Tingjuy. It's a beautiful day, Pat.
Hi, good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited for this.
Thank you so much for coming. We love seeing you. Now, I understand you've been playing volleyball basically your whole life and coaching. So when was that in your life that you decided to turn to being an actress?
Actually, I've always wanted to be an actress. It's more of I didn't know how. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know where to go. So I guess I really did something about it during pandemic. Because since that I saw people were having more opportunities online and it's easier to reach out to agents. Well, first I started with commercials. And from there, a friend of mine who's a producer just messaged me and said, oh, go mo to. She sent me the audition post for Rookie. Yes.
Nice. Did you take any workshops during the pandemic?
So that's one fun fact. I never had any acting experience prior to the movie.
Wow.
So that's why it's also a big surprise to me.
But you know, it also the right things had to come into place because Rookie is about volleyball, and Rookie is given your background and given what you wanted to do. How did it feel when you read the script, when you saw the opportunity, when you started actually going through the entire process of it?
I never ever expected it. When I read the call for auditions. Like it said, okay, we're looking for someone tall, someone who knows how to play volleyball, someone who is awkward. I'm like, wait, this is me. I embrace my awkwardness. Yeah, and like how I felt about it, at first I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because of course there are a lot of people who's gonna audition. And when I was actually there on the face-to-face audition, I felt so insecure because everyone that I see there were we're from Star Magic, we're pro players. I'm like, what's up, guys? I'm just here. I'm just here to enjoy.
Now I want to know who you beat out. No, but let's not talk about no. Let's not cause drama here.
But you know what? We were talking about this off air that you were not at all expecting that nomination and that Cinemalaya win. Congratulations, by the way. I know that was back in 2023, but I am sure that up until now you still feel that high, you know, from winning Best Actress. It is such a feat. Now, how did your life change after that Cinemalaya win?
Actually, like you said earlier, we talked about it. I never expected that I would win an award. Like I was just there. I put myself in that situation. I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna have fun with it. I'm just gonna go with the wave. I don't like saying go with the flow. I want to say like I want to ride a wave.
Okay.
So how it affected me, because after everything, after the closing, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna go back to work. I think it was a Sunday, the closing ceremony, and then it was Monday the next day. So I was just, okay, I'm just gonna go back to work after this. How it affected me. It was good. Like I felt like I learned so much more about myself. I used to be very insecure, and I didn't think that I could do things like that. I didn't even expect that I could win an award in something for the first time.
Yeah. In other words, kumapal yung mukha mo after that first.
At saka it really parang put your name out there, no? Kasi syempre first project mo, people didn't know you yet, and then you win this award, and then wow, so now everybody knows Pat Tingjuy.
Yeah, when I won the award, I didn't really think about it. People would say I'm so humble, but I'm like, well, that happened. But I didn't know how to really feel about it yet. But then, like after a year, after how many times and I tell people about my story, I'm like, oh, ano, ang galing ko. Nakakaganon ako na, what the heck? I don't have acting background.
Yeah.
Like I just love volleyball
amazing.
so much, and I had a movie. I won an award. Like,
It doesn't happen a lot.
I know, and I'm so curious because you've never done any workshops, no acting background. So what challenges did you face when you were doing this first ever project of yours? And did you find any similarities? I mean, you played a volleyball player in the movie, but did you find any similarities between volleyball coaching, playing, and in your role in acting?
Sorry, what was the question?
Okay, sorry.
What were the biggest challenges you had during the production
Okay, there you
itself?
go. The biggest challenge I'd say is more internally. Like I would have self-doubt. I wouldn't want to be a burden to the whole crew because this is my first time and they've been doing this for how many years?
Right, yeah.
And what I was thinking was just, okay, don't mess it up. They're all working so hard. And it's so nice because you can see how passionate they are in what they're doing. So like, okay, Pat, you got this. And I was being mean to myself. I was being too hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, you have to get it the first time, even if it's not perfect. You have to do it really good.
I think the term there is you don't want to be a COD, a cause of delay.
Yes,
You didn't want to be a cause of
exactly.
delay because an extra take takes so long to set up.
It does. And sometimes when they would say cut, and they react like, ugh. They react like that. I'm like, oh no, is it me?
Yeah.
Apparently it's not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, like, again, a lot of it comes from your love of volleyball. You coach a spike and serve, which is a program that tries to spread volleyball all throughout the country. It's nationwide right now. Shout out to Nicole Tuzon for that program. Of course, you had a chance to really spread your love of volleyball, not just through the film, but through your coaching itself. So how important is that in your life? Is it still important in your life at this point as well?
Yes, it's very important. I feel bliss actually when I coach children. Like it's so nice to have to share what I know. I mean, I'm not a pro player, but I would say that I'm very passionate in the sport, and it's very nice that I get to help these kids, not just with the sport, not just with the skills, not just volleyball, but also outside. Like my goal is to make them good people inside and outside the court. Yes.
Not a lot of people know this, but aside from her being a volleyball coach before and then an award-winning actress, you are also a licensed architect.
Yes.
Yes, and you still practice until now, right?
I
Architecture.
do. I
Yes.
was just working on it last night.
Okay.
Okay, and she was
You
saying,
don't look stressed, by the way.
The makeup.
Okay.
so how do you balance everything, you know, all, focusing on acting and then doing your architect job as well?
What I always tell people, kung gusto mo, may paraan.
Right, right.
People ask me this same question every time, and I don't know how to answer. I just say like, priorities. But then that's what we always say.
Right.
But I learned that, kung gusto ko talaga, hanapan ko ng paraan.
Right,
Yeah.
yes,
Even
yes.
if I don't know how, I'm gonna figure it out. Just like in acting, I didn't know what to do. I just figured it out.
Yeah, it's so funny because UST is now famous for producing the most amount of architect volleyball players.
What,
I
really?
think Jessie, isn't
Jessie
Jessie?
De Leon,
Jessie De
yes.
Leon's also part of, and she was also, she interior designer or is she an architect? I think she's an architect also, right? Yeah. So definitely part of it. You take a look at, there's a term work-life balance that we used to use.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still a valid term right now because a lot of people manage to meld both in together. Do you have that balance still in your life?
I'd say I do. Going back to the question Monique asked me earlier, like what's the difference with volleyball and acting, right?
What similarities?
What
actually,
similarities? So like I don't actually see any difference, or they're like one thing for me because since I love both, as in, it's weird because I never really knew how passion felt like, and then now I understand what they mean, like a burning passion, like you would just feel the fire burning. Now, whenever I do acting or when I'm teaching volleyball or when I'm doing volleyball, I do feel it in my heart. Like I feel that burning passion that people call.
Right.
So like I don't see the difference. They're just like one thing because it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a chore.
And that's when you know you're in the right field or
Yes.
fields. Do you have any dream collaboration or projects do you want to do in the future?
Ooh. I also get asked this question a lot, and I have a hard time answering because there's so much things that I want to do. There's so many things I want to try.
Or maybe if there's somebody you want to work with, is that easier?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
I'd want to work with Kristen Bell.
Oh, I love her.
I love her so much. Like she's
Anna
so.
She
and
goes
Elsa,
international
I
at
know.
once, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Gotta go big.
Yeah, dream big.
Dream big or go home.
What kind of movie genre would you like to do next? Because I believe the movie back in 2023 was some sort of like a drama role, right? So what kind of genre would you like to work on next?
Genre that I want to work on.
Horror.
Romance,
we guested Yayo Aguila, and then she said she has never done an action movie,
I
right?
know.
And she wanted to be an
Pao
action
also,
star.
that's also Paolo's
Yeah.
dream. actually.
No,
So
I
if
just
you
wanna
ever
get-
do an action
To get
movie,
shot.
No, I just want to get shot on screen. It could be a comedy, or it could be like a rom-com. I'll still get shot.
Actually, we should try that one of these days.
Tayo ka
Let's
dyan.
play, tapos
Yeah.
me and Anne will shoot.
Yes.
Just chill, guys. We're gonna get there one day, okay? We're
Did
gonna
you
get
know that
one
there
day.
are like different ways to get shot in different countries?
Yes, there are.
Yeah,
There are
I've
different
seen those
ways.
reels. Yeah.
There's also different ways, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get there one day. But
One day.
then more on you first.
Yes.
So what genre do you have in mind to do next? Siguro, what challenges you up next that you want to try out?
Yeah. So I like the word challenge because I challenge myself all the time. The genre that I want to try is actually suspense. Thriller suspense.
Really?
Not really horror. I mean, I do love horror, but suspense and yeah, because it has like this skill na
The
you have
tension.
to the tension. You have to keep
Yeah,
them
yeah.
there, and I want to be able to learn how to give that suspense to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can actually shoot Pao and then hide from the
But that's not
authorities.
suspense.
Suspense yun, kasi she'll
Suspense. I
hide
have a
from
gun
the
pala.
authorities. Yeah.
She's gonna hide from the authorities. Authorities will probably give her a high five.
Monique and I will be the detectives.
No, I'll be dying laughing.
So she'll, like again, she'll be the hero. I'll also get shot.
Yeah.
You know? All right, but of course, we're also celebrating Women's Month this month, and of course, your role in particular. I remember so many people, so many volleyball fans back in 2023 really enjoyed Rookie for a lot of reasons. It really spoke about girlhood. It really spoke about what the sport is, what it means to them, and of course, it really affirmed also a lot of again, just womanhood and girlhood in general. Just when you take a look at the message that you left in 2023, going to 2025, what are the words that you want to say to those who are probably needing a bit more encouragement, especially for those who feel that maybe their gender has probably slowed them down a bit in whatever they pursue?
So actually, while the movie was showing in cinemas, a lot of people were messaging me, as in overwhelmingly, like, ang dami.
Yeah.
And they would message, but I read all of them. Then I tried as much as possible to reply to every one of them. Most of them thanked me for representing them, thanking me for accepting the role of Ace. And it's really nice because, like, it's so nice that I touched their lives somehow. Like, I wasn't even thinking that, but then, like, I learned that being an actress also helps people realizing who they are, because somewhere, somehow, the character that I am portraying is someone out there. So the message that I want to give to them is to, like, I mean, as much as people do say this, like, just be yourself, embrace who you are. I used to have a hard time grasping those messages. Like, people just say it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I hear you. But then, like, I never really understood until, like, I myself experienced it. Like, it will just click. Like, suddenly, you will get why people are saying that. Also, another message I want to say is to stop making excuses. Like, people would always try to make an excuse now. Like, they cannot do what they want to do because they're too broke, or no, I have a corporate job, I have this and that. But to me, that is an excuse because, again, if you really want to do something, you will find a way. You will always find a way.
Exactly. Well, and thank you for finding a way to get to us and
Thank
waking
you.
up this morning. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun.
And for those who want to follow you on your socials, where can they find you?
Oh, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Pat Tingjuy. You can also follow me on Facebook at Pat Tingjuy.
There
Well,
you go.
thank you so much, Pat Tingjuy, for coming this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, so after a break, I'll speak with Nazar Briguera, a spokesperson of Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources via Zoom to talk about the venomous jellyfish from Japan and red tide warnings that are in place for the country. Stay tuned, it's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. I'm Paolo del Rosario. This is Weather HQ. The Philippine seas are facing two growing concerns: the discovery of venomous jellyfish species, the Chironex yamaguchi, and the rising threat of red tide in various areas. According to recent studies, this dangerous jellyfish, primarily found in Japan, has now been spotted in Philippine waters. Meanwhile, with increasing heat, red tide occurrences are intensifying in some parts of the country. To provide insights into these issues, we are now joined today via Zoom by Mr. Nazar Briguera, the spokesperson for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR. Magandang umaga, Sir Briguera. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, magandang umaga, Paolo. It's a great opportunity again to be here with you.
Sir Nazar, let's start first here with the jellyfish that we have found in the Philippines recently. This is the Chironex yamaguchi, again, native to Japan, or at least most found in Japan. Is this the exact same species we have found here in the Philippines, or is there just genetic similarities or maybe physical similarities? What can we expect with the species we found here in the Philippines?
Most likely, this particular species can also be found in the Philippines because for the information to the public, in terms of jellyfish, we have about 38 species of jellyfish in the Philippines. So marami talagang klase, and most likely itong sinasabi na galing sa Japan ay ito rin talaga yung makikita rito sa Pilipinas.
When you say it's venomous, we say it's harmful. What are the adverse effects po if you get stung by this particular species of jellyfish?
Yes, there are actually jellyfish. There are kinds of jellyfish which are actually harmful or venomous, especially yung tinatawag natin na box jellyfish, yung class belonging to class Cubosa. So this is a kind of jellyfish na may lason siyang dala, at lalo na pagka dumikit ito sa katawan ng tao, so nagiging harmful ito, nagkakaroon ng masamang epekto sa katawan ng tao.
Is there any particular location po we can find this species, yung Chironex yamaguchi here in the Philippines, and where has it been spotted so far?
I haven't checked on the exact location where this particular species of jellyfish can actually be found, because I've said most likely it's the same species that can be found in the Philippines, taking into account that there are actually 38 species of jellyfish in the Philippines. But when we talk about jellyfish in terms of concentration, widespread naman yan sa mga karagatan natin. For example, as we have heard recently, there was actually high concentration of population of jellyfish in Camarines Sur, particularly in Caramoan, and it was actually the place where there was an incident happened na namatay yung isang bata dahil nakapitan ng jellyfish. So the Philippines being a tropical country ay kalat talaga ang jellyfish sa ating mga karagatan.
Well, it's also part of yung tinatawag na coral triangle itong Pilipinas, wherein this certain species of jellyfish can be found. Knowing that this particular species is here, do you think it would actually significantly, or if at all, impact yung Philippine tourism natin, especially when it comes to ecotourism in certain areas?
Yes, definitely. That's why we are really, encouraging the local government units who are the frontliners in terms of management of the municipal waters to actually implement information education programs, especially during peak season, where there are a lot of tourists in the area. So we really need to educate the tourist in terms of this contact with jellyfish, because there is really a danger once a person has a contact with this jellyfish. So it's actually fatal pagka hindi ka agad nalapatan ng first aid.
Are there any precautions Filipinos should take, or even foreign tourists should take if encountering or if they do spot jellyfish?
Mas maganda kung maliligo yung isang tao. According to experts, no, it's advisable that the body is covered. Ano siya, may clothing na covered talaga yung katawan. And in terms of first aid, it would be good if there's a person who has actually contact with a jellyfish or na sting ng jellyfish, ang ipanghuhugas ay yung vinegar. Kaya siguro lalo na dun sa mga nag-island hopping, napaka-importante na dun sa bangka may baon kayong vinegar, because just in case na magkaroon ng insidente na kung saan nagkaroon ng pag-sting ng jellyfish, yung kasi talaga yung first aid, yung vinegar. Washing it with cold water would actually aggravate the situation. So according to experts, it's actually vinegar who can be used as first aid for jellyfish sting.
Right, Sir Nazar, let's now shift to red tide po. This discussion, of course, is associated with the rise of temperatures in the water, especially. Is there a rise in red tide occurrences in the country so far? And of course, are there any locations in particular that are in danger of this at the moment?
Well, first we need to understand that red tide is actually a natural phenomenon. It's actually caused by the multiplication of a microorganism called dinoflagellates, and it happens naturally in the environment. No, so we could say that we cannot really detect as to when or where. How long will be the red tide occurrence will happen in a particular area, because it's a natural phenomenon. So what we can do is actually to have a regular monitoring of the waters in those areas known to have red tide incidents. No, but right now, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, in collaboration with the local government units, we have a regular monitoring program. And in fact, based on our Shellfish Bulletin number 6, dated February 25, 2025, the following areas are positive for red tide. These are the coastal waters of Milagros and Masbate, coastal waters of Leyte and Leyte, Matarino Bay in Eastern Samar, Dumanguillas Bay in Zamboanga del Sur, and coastal waters of Tungawan in Zamboanga, Sibugay Province. So our message for these areas, we are actually informing the public not to eat, not to buy, not to sell any kinds of shellfish, including those alamang. But yung mga isda, pusit, hipon, and alimasag, they are safe to eat. Provided they are thoroughly cleaned before cooking.
Sir, you mentioned that the only thing we can do really is monitor them. But then in terms of managing situations like this, what can BFAR actually offer those affected by it, especially those who are reliant on shellfish para sa hanap buhay na po nila?
As I said, it's a natural phenomenon. So, having an artificial intervention, no, by introducing some chemicals or anything into the waters would not help. It might not even aggravate the situation. Now, as you said, livelihood actually is affected. So during the times that a particular area has red tide advisory, the government through the BFAR also implements alternative livelihood program. There are also other alternative that can, in terms of livelihood, that can be offered to our fisher folk. And I've said the advisory is limited only to the eating, selling, and buying of shellfish. But in terms of fishing, they can still go fishing because I've said, the fish, the squid, the shrimp, and the crabs, they can be eaten provided they are thoroughly clean before cooking.
For those wondering po, how long does red tide typically last? Yung duration po niya on average? Or is there a way to predict it? Or of course a way to siguro shorten the season for red tide?
There is no way to actually no way to detect as to how long would be the occurrence of red tide in a particular area. That's why what we can do is to do regular monitoring on a weekly basis, and until such time that we find out that the based on the samples that the waters is already free of red tide, that's the only the time that we will declare that a particular area is red tide free. So regular monitoring and public information campaign should be part of the primary management in terms of red tide occurrence.
Are there any visible signs on the shellfish mismo, sir, that people can look at to see if whether or not may red tide nga ang kinakain nila?
There's no physical sign as to the contamination of red tide in, for example, in a shellfish. So it can only be determined through laboratory analysis. So that's why we really advise the people that if there is a red tide advisory in a particular area, please follow the advisory, because that is based on science, that we can actually say that a particular area or the shellfish in a particular area are positive of red tide. So we must follow the advisory for our own sake in terms of public safety.
So what are the normal health risks involved with consuming any item with red tide?
Once a person eats, for example, a shellfish contaminated with red tide, that's why we call the condition as paralytic shellfish poisoning. Because once a person ingests a shellfish or alamang, contaminated with red tide, the person experiences paralysis in terms of his or her body system. That's why it's called paralytic shellfish poisoning. So ang unang nararamdaman, pamamanhid ng labi, hirap sa paghinga, pamamanhid ng katawan, hanggang magresulta siya sa cardiac arrest. So yun yung mga nararamdaman ng isang tao kapag nakakakain siya ng shellfish na may red tide. And we really advise that once a person experiences these symptoms and there is a suspicion that the cause is really because of eating shellfish contaminated with red tide, so the best thing to do is to go to the nearest healthcare facility, sa hospital po, para malapatan ng lunas ang taong pinagsususpetsahan na nakakain ng shellfish na may red tide.
He's a spokesperson for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, Mr. Nazal Briguera. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Paolo, for this opportunity. Good morning.
Good morning. Now moving on to some world weather. In Japan, thousands flock to the town of Kawazu to see the early blooming of cherry blossoms. Unlike those found in Tokyo and Kyoto, Kawazu sakura trees bloom in early February, offering some of the first blossoms in the country. Kawazu boasts over 800 cherry blossom trees that stretch for about 4 kilometers long along the local river.
I think the cherry blossom trees in particular are such a cornerstone to being in Japan and doing a Japanese trip, and so being able to see it kind of, I don't know, it feels like I'm inside a postcard.
I love it. It's so peaceful. I think it's so picturesque, and being able to experience it in so many different places is really enjoyable. So this is a little different from being in Tokyo during the main Hanami season. So I'm really eager to come here and enjoy it early.
Well, looks like no animals there, but the cherry blossoms are great in Kawazu. That's it for Weather HQ. Back to you, girls.
Oh my goodness, heto na! Our favorite segment on the show. What do the stars have in store for you today? Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Friday, March 7. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, may inspirasyon na magdadala ng saya sa puso mo. Yee! Pink at 6. Kaya oksaman tayo, magandang araw ito para i-pitch ang idea sa trabaho or sa school. Blue at 9. Tiger naman tayo, mag-relax at mag-focus din sa positive thoughts. Green at 3. Rabbit naman tayo, iwasang gumastos sa hindi importante. Prioritize essentials. Yellow at 5. Kay Dragon naman tayo, panatiliin ang healthy eating habits. Red at 7. Kay Sig naman tayo, may darating na extra income. Gamitin ito ng maayos. Blue at 9. Ito naman, kay Year of the Horsey. Sa mga single, huwag maging marupok. Baka pagsamantalahan yan. Orange at 3. Kay Ship naman tayo, may good news mula sa trabaho o school. Purple at 8. Monkey naman tayo, huwag magpuyat matulog, magpahinga ng maaga. Green at 1. Kay Rooster naman tayo, ang pagtitipid ngayon ay magdudulot ng kasaganahan sa hinaharap. Brown at 2. Kay Doggy naman, magandang panahon para magplano ng goals. Yellow at 4. Kay Pig naman, mag-focus sa proper diet para makaiwas sa sakit. Pink at 6. Ako po, si Master Hans, kuha paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua! And sabi niya, I will get good news daw today. Ooh, I'm so excited.
I wonder what that is.
I know, I hope it's money.
But
Show me the money.
they always say that you have to be careful about what you spend.
I know, right?
Rarely does Pastor Hans say that you will receive money. It's always like, be careful spending money.
Oh, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's money
Kasi may
today.
good news, money will be coming in, but careful daw not to spend it all.
Or
I think that's
baka
it.
the good news is that you don't have to spend as much. Rather than,
actually,
diba?
better
Kasi her thing is
yun.
spending
So we'll see. Let us know in our group chat.
Actually, I know we listen to our horoscopes. Like, I know mine, hindi applicable sa akin kasi hindi ako single. Pero sa'yo?
I don't know because there was a lot of Tagalog. I couldn't keep up. Master Hans, pa-English naman, please. I'll talk to you next time. Anyway, don't go away because we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
That wasn't bad.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now we got some more news for you. The end of the holiday season marked the end of jobs to thousands of Filipinos. The Philippine Statistics Authority says unemployment rate increased this January. Sujin Kim has more.
Over 500,000 Filipinos lost their jobs between December and January. The number of unemployed Filipinos soared to 2.16 million in January, a sharp increase from 1.63 million in December. The Philippine Statistics Authority attributes the job losses to seasonal employment cuts after the holiday season.
Siguro mai-relate natin ito sa Christmas season kasi December, of course, we expect higher demand for workers. Usually, ganun naman yung trend. If you look at the series, talagang ganun siya. Pag December, nag-shoot up yung number ng employed. And then suddenly sa January, bumababa na kasi wala ng demand. I mean, hindi wala, kundi na-lessen na yung demand for workers.
But it wasn't just seasonal jobs that were lost. The manufacturing sector saw a steep decline of 119,000 jobs over the past 3 months, with the electronics industry taking a big hit due to falling global demand.
It's actually declining continuously yung electronics natin, manufacturing. It's more on the demand. So parang nabawasan ng demand globally. So hindi na sila masyadong nagmamanufacture because of the demand at the world market na bumaba.
The underemployment rate, which measures the number of Filipinos looking for additional income or better jobs, jumped from 10.9% in December to 13.3% in January.
Ang malaking share na industry sa underemployment is agriculture din, agriculture and forestry. Ang share ng agriculture to underemployment is 44.5%. This is followed by wholesale and retail trade, repair and of motor vehicles.
Looking ahead, the National Economic and Development Authority sees a path forward. The recently signed implementing rules and regulations for the Create More Act are expected to boost investments and drive job creation. Soojin Kim, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
A reminder for airline passengers, civil aviation authorities are now banning power banks exceeding 160 watt-hours on flights. This comes after recent aviation incidents where power banks were suspected of causing fires. The agency says power banks up to 100 watt-hours are allowed, but said devices with watt-hours ranging from 100 to 160 require airline approval. Under CAAP rules, power banks must be carried in hand luggage, are strictly prohibited in checked-in bags due to risk of overheating and fire. We were talking about this the other day, right? Because I was kind of worried because I have a U.S. trip coming up and I can't imagine not charging my phone during a flight. So now they're actually allowing those small power banks.
No, you can still charge on the plane. You just
yeah.
can't do it during takeoff and landing. So you can charge on the plane. You just can't bring the big 160
No, normally
watt
planes
power
right now
banks.
have like those USB slots in the seats.
Yeah,
So that's still okay. It's
Yeah.
just power banks. So my family, right, a lot of them work in the airline industry, and they're saying the problem actually is a lot of the power banks that people have, they're like the cheaply made ones, so they overheat.
Okay. They overheat, yes.
I mean, even the greatly made ones can overheat too, so that's the problem. And especially with the pressurized cabin and everything, it can cause it to explode, and that's scary.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have my phone dead than a plane
Than you
catch
be
on
dead.
fire. Exactly.
Yeah, because I read an article about Eva Air completely banning using your power banks during the flight, the entirety of the flight.
So I guess it just depends on which airline. So just check on your
Yeah,
airlines
but at the end
before
of
you
the
guys
day, I
fly.
mean, like when you're on the plane, normally, typically, especially if it's a long-haul flight, you can charge on the plane via the seats.
I normally
kapag
just,
short naman,
you don't need it.
You don't need to.
I normally just turn my phone off anyway. There's no need to. Yeah, I don't even put it on airplane mode because
I download movies and then I watch.
Oh, I just watch on the in-flight entertainment.
I do the in-flight or I bring an iPad, so it's easier. I mean, like, if you're on you're on your phone, ganyan ka.
Yeah, and I just sleep the whole flight. So I
but
don't
you know, going
that.
Anne, baka business class naman to eh. So,
So you're
she's
okay.
gonna, like, I like how she's not denying it,
I know,
right?
she's so quiet.
She's not denying it. She's gonna ride business class. It's not gonna be a problem. Baka nga wireless charging yung flight niya eh.
Okay,
My
moving on.
gosh. All right. Now, speaking about flying,
Yes.
after 9 months in space, 2 stranded NASA astronauts are finally coming home. Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams just have to wait until their replacements at the International Space Station arrive next week. They are expected to begin their journey back to Earth later this month.
Going to miss about space, everything about space. You know, this has been Butch and my third flight to the International Space Station. We helped put it together. We've been up here seeing it change throughout all these years, do a lot of science up here. I think just the fact that we're living up here in this very unique place gives you an amazing perspective, not only, you know, out the window, obviously, but also just on how to solve problems. I don't want to lose that spark of inspiration and that perspective when I leave, so I'm going to have to bottle it somehow.
The astronauts left for Earth in June for what was supposed to be an 8-day mission to test Boeing's new Starliner capsule. But their homecoming was delayed after the capsule suffered technical problems.
Baby eagle Riley learns to spread its wings. At 49 days old, Riley has started to do its flapping practice, a crucial phase in an eagle's development. Wing flapping exercises help strengthen flight muscles and improve coordination. The Philippine Eagle Foundation says Riley now weighs 3.2 kilograms and has been growing so fast. I'm so happy Riley's doing so well while we have this big, I don't know what bird this is. Oh, he's dancing! This is the first time he's dancing!
I'm doing the
Do the
audio for-
Riley.
That's a dance.
The Riley dancing.
Riley's twerking. What are you talking
Oh
about?
my God.
Go Riley. Go
Riley's
Riley.
twerking.
Hey, it's your
Look at
birthday. Hey. Oh my gosh, Riley is so cute.
I know. And Riley's growing
right
up
on
so
the-
fast.
Riley's booty is literally on
Yeah,
cam.
no. This is an opportunity for someone to go on TikTok and put Riley to music.
Actually,
That's
Look,
pretty
look,
good.
look.
That's pretty
Hey.
good.
Riley's
Right.
still twerking. Twerking with Riley. Instead of, the twerking like Miley, we're gonna remix to Riley. We're gonna do that later
Let's
on
go
TikTok.
a bit more modern. Because
My age na naman. I don't know any
it's
of the
funny.
updated
It's so
twerking
funny
songs.
because now that you bring that up, I think that song came out
That's so
almost
old
10
na.
years ago.
College
10 years
pa tayo
ago?
pa.
Come on. Yeah,
No,
you can still use that.
No, I know. I mean, like something.
What would you use?
I don't know.
If you
I'm
put it
thinking
on-
something
I don't know
Doechii,
what-
maybe. I don't know.
I literally don't know any of the updated songs.
We'll see. We'll let TikTok do its
Yeah,
magic.
stay tuned for our social media posts.
Look, Riley needs to be dancing.
Wait. Riley got tired. Ayan,
Ah,
ayan.
there it
Oh,
is.
there you go. Hey, Riley.
Complete with the side eye. Riley or Mudeng?
Mudeng. Always.
I think
Loyal.
Riley's
And that is it for us
Loyalty.
this Friday, March 7, because we have discovered that Mo does not care about Riley.
Grabe naman, I care about
Because
Riley,
Mo
but my loyalty
cares
to
about
Mudeng.
pygmy hippo more.
I love all
in
animals,
Thailand.
but Mudeng is forever my favorite. Such a hater. Let's end on a positive note this Friday.
I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful day. Happy weekend. We cannot wait to see you next week.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Quick shout out to our Lift Clinic family. Hi, Doc Sayagan and Jan Conadera. And catch me on Mellow 94.7 later at 11 a.m. Wherever this day and this weekend takes you, choose happiness and spread love and kindness.
Oh my gosh. And I'm Monique Tuzon. I hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. Join us again on Monday at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a beautiful day.